afternoon, Jacob. It's lovely to see you again. Thank you for taking the time to join us today to talk a little bit about the refugee teaching work that's going on Samos that Mali Refugee-Action have just started supporting. We'd really like to hear a little bit about where the funding is going and the work of the teachers and the difference that it makes both to them and to the kids that they work with.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Nicola. Really nice to be here again. We first came to Samos a couple of years ago. And when we came here, we were bringing a lot of our background and experiences from the other island where we work, which is Chios. But when we came here, we had an opportunity to change a little bit the way that we were working. And this led to not only a change to how we work on Samos, but we actually then took this learning back to Chios. And we're trying to spread this learning as far as possible, because a few years ago, when the refugee crisis was really big in the news, there was this great push from across Europe to come and help and support the situation here. And that remains really, really important to this day. But one thing that was somehow forgotten at that period was that within the refugee community here itself, there is not only the ability, but there is the prerogative to actually create community-led solutions. So when we came here and we reset up our project, we wanted to start by actually training and drawing on people from the refugee community to run and lead the project themselves. And that led in the first year to a lot of teacher trainings, a lot of youth work trainings, to create a model where everyone is participating and growing within the space. And it a little bit reduces the requirement for having international volunteers, and instead creates a team of teachers who actually understand the students better, who come from their background and can actually support them more holistically. But then we started facing another challenge with that, which is that whilst teachers from the refugee community and from the camp are really keen to dedicate their time, they face a number of really, really big barriers to doing that. And primarily that barrier is the fact they're living in a tent. Now, living in a tent also means having to wake up really early to get in a food line to go and get food. It means, having really bad nights sleep, not being able to sleep until the early hours of the morning because the environment is so loud. So we wanted to take another step, which was to actually provide accommodation for every single teacher from the refugee community, and through that accommodation to enable these individuals to have better well-being, and then to better support these communities and these student communities even more. So over the last year, we've been actually expanding the number of apartments that we rent here, and then inviting people into these spaces where we provide it rent-free, and we provide a small food subsidy to support living costs. And through that, we've started to create an amazing community of teachers who are better able to give back to the students, and in themselves are better supported to live their life. So, I mean, thanks to Mali Refugee-Action here, we're still able to keep growing this number of apartments to welcome new people. And in the last month, the last year really, this has become all the more critical because the camps have gone into lockdown and there's been greater and greater fears around COVID affecting this community. So to provide that space and to provide the peace of mind and the security makes a huge difference to the lives of these teachers who are now working with us.
That's fantastic, thank you. And I think we'll be really interested to see how this progresses as we go forward, and obviously with the very changeable circumstances that you're facing, about how we can continue to help to keep the students safe and to keep the teachers safe and able to continue to provide those educational services. So thank you.
Thank you.